And let me tell you, it is going to be a real important next few months as we look at the midterm elections, as we look at the state of affairs in this country. Our National Action Network convention is going to be important. But what we come out of there with as an action plan and what we're going to do, people need to make decisive moves right now. And moves that really will count. We need to focus on our young people and share with them and support them because we're in for some very critical crossroads that we're going to have to get through. And I really think all of us need to make up in our minds that we are going to dedicate a real portion of our lives toward dealing with the issues that face us as a world community. And I really think that some of us are taking that way too lightly. And that is something that is very critical to me. And it's, when I heard the grandmother just now on the show of Stephon Clark, and I watched them at the funeral, and I've been to many of those funerals, done too many of those eulogies. But it's not going to stop unless we do what we're supposed to do to stop it. And just getting angry and just yelling at each other and not really organizing around some ethical and long-term committed strategies, we will only keep going back to the same place all over again. And I think that is something that we're going to have to really come to terms with. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Hopewell, Virginia, Sirius XM 126 to John. John?
Hey, Reverend, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm just really curious on what the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, also known as NOBLE, the black prosecutors, the black attorneys, I'm just curious on what they know because they are really silent. And I believe that these shootings are intentional. And I believe that the goal is for these white cops to start a race war. I think that's what they really want black folks taking up arms against them. So I believe that, I know people talk boycotts, but I think life insurance policies, I think we ought to do a movement in this country where every black youth in this country have at least $200,000 worth of life insurance on them. Because I think that bankrupting the insurance agencies out here or these insurance companies, that's the answer. And I think that
let me see if I understand. So you're saying if we all bought these policies, that would bankrupt them?
What I'm seeing, because at the alarming number of black deaths in this country, think about it. Every person that died in America, every black person that died in America in the hands of someone else, and that person had $200,000 or $300,000 worth of life insurance on them. Do the math. It's just
but the problem I got with that is a couple of problems. One is a lot of people in our communities cannot afford $200,000, $300,000. And
but no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the insurance policy is not going to cost that, but the payout will.
But I'm saying that people that have little income can't afford the payout. But the real problem I got with it is that the only way the strategy works is enough of us got to die.
Now, what I'm saying is there ought to be a movement to put money in a banking system for that purpose, to make sure, because most of us can't insure our kids. But I'm just saying, for those of us who can't, I believe there ought to be a bank created specifically for life insurance policies. And I think most black people will be game to put money into that system as long as we know that upon the death of a person, if someone dies at the hands of law enforcement, it's a double payout. And I think that what needs to happen, if we can get that bank established, I'm not just brainstorming here, but I'm just more or less like, people talking boycotts. I'm like, they may work in the 60s or whatever. Boycotts are not going to work today. I just believe that we need to come up with a strategy.
Why do you think boycotts won't work today?
Because people still going to spend money. Because some of us...
So let me get this right. If we call a boycott against a national chain, you think people are not going to boycott? But you think we get black people to all put money in an insurance policy for people they don't know? Well, let me ask the question. Let me ask the question. You don't think we can get people to boycott a product, but you think we can get people to send their money and insure people around the country on police brutality?
Well, as far as the boycott is concerned, I believe they will boycott for a certain period of time, but I don't think it'll be a boycott for longevity. But
you think that they will give longevity to buying into an insurance policy? Because if you stop paying the premiums, the insurance is canceled. You do know that. Hello? Oh. Okay, let me go to the phone. I've been talking about it all day. Monday, we talking about 50 going forward. Elder Bernice King, the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther and Coretta Scott King, has called us to Atlanta, and we are going to march and rally. She got out of a meeting to share with us the details. I want everybody to meet us in Atlanta. Elder Bernice King's on our live line. Elder?
How you doing, Brother Now? Glad to have you also on April 4th, and look forward to having you on Monday.
I'll be there. Tell us where we need to be and what we need to do and why we're doing.
Well, we are having a March for Humanity, which we actually planned before the incident happened in Parkland. And so I just think it's all synergistic because we got to keep pressure on this nation and help to continue to raise the awareness of the importance of where we are today as a nation. So on Monday, April 9th, in front of Ebenezer Baptist Church, the historic church that my father co-pastored in Atlanta, starting at 12 noon, we will be marching from there to the Martin Luther King statue at the Georgia State Capitol. It's a 1.2 mile, I think, walk. And then we will have a Love for Humanity rally that we ask you to speak at on the issue of peace and justice. We call for this because when we look at the climate of our time, not just in this nation, but around the world, it appears as if we are losing a sense of our humanity. It appears as if we're coming apart at the seams and we're further dividing, further polarizing, not recognizing, as my father said, that we live in this world house together, and we must learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or together we will be forced to perish as fools. And so the whole purpose is to remind people that we're part of one global humanity. What affects one directly affects all of us indirectly, that we have to restore a sense of dignity, respect, equity, peace with justice, and humility, and all of that to our nation, to fight these injustices and these evils that continue to try to overtake us as a humanity. The enemy is not people. And I want to stress that right now, because a lot of times when you're fighting for justice, it's very hard to guard your heart against the evil antics of people. But we are fighting injustice. We are fighting evil. We're fighting immorality. And we have to continue to focus on that while we do it with dignity. We do it out of a heart of love, with the goal of hopefully winning some people over who may be right now our adversaries. And so this march is under the banner of our theme, MLK 50 Forward. Together we win with love for humanity, because Dr. King did everything he did on the high plane of unconditional love,
Right.
with the goal of creating a win-win scenario in this world.
And then leading us toward from confrontation to reconciliation. And that's what Monday's about. That is what Monday's about. All of our WAOK family in Atlanta, y'all must be there. And there's many of you, I'm coming from wherever I'm going to be. I'm going to be there because I think Elder King is correct. We've got to have our values right. Our whole world, global communities at stake.
That's right. So we'll see you Monday at noon in front of Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Ebenezer Baptist Church, we're going to march to the King's statue. And y'all hear me say often, Elder Bernice King, my favorite preacher, but she getting a little rival from her niece Yolanda's catching up there now. You better watch Yolanda. Thank you for breaking out the beat. Yeah, ain't no doubt about it. Thank you for breaking out the beat. I'm going to a break. I wanted y'all to hear from Elder Bernice. We will be with her Monday. Looking forward to it. Let's take a break. Be right back.